All right, help us make sense of this. We understand that some PANDEF leadership have come out to say that the major issue between Fubara and Nyesom Wike has to do with internally generated revenue. We are still investigating, but we know that you are the center of the whole thing, and of course, we know you are a political watcher also. Help us make sense. Take your time to make sense. What exactly sparked this uproar?
Well, interesting question. What sparked this uproar? Yes, there is common belief that it had to do with control of the IGR. Governance is all about public funds and management of public funds.
That's true.
So we need to understand that you cannot separate the funds from the government. So if there's a fight over who controls the government, by extension, there's a fight over who controls the funds of the state. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Mr. Bariswa, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Go on.
Okay.
Go on, because in his comments, he said that the state used to witness 10 billion generated every 30 or 31 days or thereabout. But ever since the FCT minister left and became the minister of the FCT, there was now a dwindling to about 6 billion, and it called for some serious concern by the governor, who asked that the issue be investigated, and then he was reported, and that was, according to him, what sparked the entire impasse. Can you confirm or deny this?
Well, I cannot confirm or deny because, like you are investigating, I'm still asking questions around.
Okay.
We're still trying to get to the root of the matter. What you have just described is common belief. And as they say, there is no smoke without a fire.
Okay.
So I'm still asking questions because I would really like to know.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. Go on, please.
I would really like to know, and I believe that I speak the mind of the majority of those people. We would like to know right now. I cannot personally confirm that, but I can tell you that it's common belief on the streets of Port Harcourt.
Okay. So if it is common belief on the streets of Port Harcourt, like they always say, for every rumor, there is some kind of iota of truth. Now let us now go to Minister Wike himself. He has constantly said two things. One, that the fight or the quarrel or the difference or the misunderstanding between him and his successor, Sim Fubara, is not an ethnic one. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Mr. Sariwayo, can you hear me? Wow.
Hello?
Yeah, if you can hear me, please let me know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay. So let us go to Wike, who has pointed out two major things. One, that the difference between him and his successor is not an ethnic one, and that the Ijaw ethnic nationality should stop stoking fire and turning into an ethnic one. Then secondly, he says his concern all along has been because Sim Fubara does not want to retain the structure that made him governor. Now, how true are those
Hello?
assertions? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
I didn't get you. Hello?
Okay, let me take it again. Let's hope you hear this time.
Oh.
Wike has said that the difference between him and his successor is not an ethnic one, and that the Ijaw ethnic nationality should stop stoking fire and stop making it look like an ethnic difference. Secondly, he has also said that Sim should not touch the structure that made him governor. Those were the two things he has constantly said right from even when Tinubu tried to resolve them. Now, what is the fact behind those statements? Are they true, or are they just statements used as a veil to cover the major substance that is creating, the disputes between the two major players?
Okay. Please permit me to answer your first question with a question.
Feel free.
I know that's not a generally accepted practice, but
no, feel free.
If you find yourself in a situation where a particular tribe has held power for upwards of 16 years, and there has been agitation for a power shift all through that same period, and then finally there is power shift, and less than 1 year of that administration, we're trying to impeach that person. Would you say there's any ethnic coloration to it?
Okay, that's a rhetorical question anyway, but I don't know what I'm meant to answer it. Because I can say there could be ethnic colorations. I could also say that there may not be ethnic colorations. But the second one, which talked about sustaining the structure that made him governor and trying to be grateful to the person who made him governor, what is the veracity of those claims?
Well, when you talk about structure, I'm not partisan. I don't belong to any political party. When you talk about the structure and send power without a group of people working together with you, get you there. So, are we together?
I'm with you. I can hear you. Go on, please.
Okay. So if you talk about the structure, well, it is left for who is in power now to work with the people that he can work with. The buck stops at this table. So when you talk of structure, the structure was used to achieve power. They have achieved power. The person who has the responsibility now has to build his system that he can work with. So it would not make much sense to say that what was must remain. I never supported the fact that we had a brigade of old commissioners coming from the past administration into this new administration. We looked forward to some fresh blood. We looked forward to renewed vitality in the system. But what did we get? We got the same old brigade. So if he needs to work with a new set of people to achieve his objectives, why not? And as the other one of being grateful, I don't personally see him as being ungrateful. At the inception of this administration,
okay,
most of the commissionings that were going on were being done by his predecessor. He was coming to Port Harcourt at every turn to commission one project, to do one thing, to flag off something, and all that. And the governor has never in any way expressed his lack of appreciation to the fact that he was, the former governor was instrumental to his being the governor. I don't understand when we talk about being grateful. I choose to put that word in quote because how is he supposed to show his gratitude? Is it by sitting back and allowing you call the shots and run the business? Is that what we refer to as gratitude? Or is it that he has to take instructions from you for anything to happen in the state? Is that what we refer to as gratitude? So we need to understand what we mean by this gratitude. Gratitude for me is appreciation of the fact that, yes, you were instrumental. I am here today. I will accord you your respect at every turn. I will give you all the support that I can possibly give you by virtue of my person and my office when the occasion demands it. So from what I see, I would not say that he has been ungrateful. I think he has. Even in all of this, he has never said anything derogatory about the former governor. And we all know the personality of the former governor. We know how he referred to his own predecessor. So, I mean, the governor for me has shown a lot of maturity and tact in all of this. And I must commend him. Whatever goes on the ground and beneath the surface, we'll leave it to them, the players in the battle. But publicly, I commend him for how he has gone about the matter.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm about to let you go now because I know you are quite busy. Today is a Monday, and I appreciate you for finding time to join us. But I'd like to ask one final question. Now that the cards are on the table, it's obvious that there is a rift and it is fast destroying the state. It has already bombed the House of Assembly and it has led to a demolition. We've had about 9 or 8 commissioners resign, plus some governor special aides that are pro-Wike, and a lot more may also come. The pro-Wike legislators that have moved to the APC they've obtained a letter, a court letter, and they, according to them, want to begin a process of impeachment. Where do you think, whether as pessimism or optimism, where do you think this will eventually end? Where do you see it going in Rivers State?
I think that the governor will see out his tenure. I don't. An impeachment of the sitting governor, any which way you choose to look at it, will cause more damage in the state. So, they want to start the process. Well, we will still fall back to the legality of that process. That is why I put the burden of clarity on the judiciary, because we will still end up in the courts. They will go through with the impeachment in whatever location, wherever. Is how it will end up.
All right, can you hear me? Are you still there? Mr. Bariswa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, go on.
Yeah. I was saying that they will go through with their process based on the order which they have obtained. We already know the end of that process because it's clear. It will end up with an impeachment notice or whatever. And we'll turn and look at the judiciary and see whether the judiciary would follow through with that, because without the judiciary, they cannot conclude that impeachment process. We'll see how it turns out. But I do know that that process will end in the impeachment, whether legitimate or illegitimate, of the governor. So we'll come back to the courts to determine its legitimacy.
Okay, so according to you now, you think the governor will live out his first 4 years tenure?
Yes, I think he will. I think he will survive the fight.
Because a lot of people will argue with you yet again that all the indicators don't look like they are smooth. They look like they are all the odds look like they are still against him, and he still has a lot of hurdles to cross.
indicators have never been a guarantee. And even the ex-governor himself, all the indicators at some point were against him, but he still won the elections. So it's not about the indications or the indicator, rather. I just think that the matter is getting very messy, and at some point, maybe we would have to call upon the elders of the nation to intervene, because obviously the elders of the states have not been able to deal with this issue. So I think it will be resolved. I'm being very optimistic about it, because I would not like to see what the state will be like in that situation.
All right, thank you.
Because you can't. How do you explain to the average Ijaw man? After 16 years, finally power has moved, and now there are all manner of stories as to why he should be impeached less than 1 year into his administration. You would set the state on fire. Everybody should go back. My candid advice is go back, do your homework, and let's get ready for another election.
Okay, your last statement clearly shows that in as much as the most criticized person here is Wike was still spot on when he said that people are taking this to become some kind of ethnic political tussle. But I know
if you can't give a man, if you cannot give a man a cogent and clear reason, do you blame him for choosing his reason?
That's a very beautiful way to end it. Thank you so much, Mr. Barisua Saronwiyo, joining us from Port Harcourt to x-ray issues as they arise in Rivers State. And we hope that the political players or the political stakeholders find whichever way to try to resolve this, because it is the indigents that will suffer when the state is not balanced or there is no peace. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
And we hope that very soon we'll have time to have you again. Thank you.